This is definitely a project I don't recommend doing it. 10 out of 10, it's not that much fun. You are now watching Farming with Duffy Ag. Welcome back to the channel. So previously, we cut that wing off of here. Well, cut the welds off. We got to cut that other side, and we got to do a lot of measuring, and then we got to cut that, and then we got to put it all back together. Sounds easy, right? I guess we'll see how it is. Not as beautiful of a day as yesterday. It's supposed to be okay warm, and it's supposed to rain this afternoon, this evening. So we'll see how far we get along on this. Hopefully it's a productive day. I appreciate you guys watching along, and let's do some measuring, because that whole measure once, cut twice doesn't work well in this application. Okay, what we have to do here, I did a little visual because there's a lot of comments of how much I got to move, what I got to do. Here's the middle of the planter. We took 3 inches off one side. Next gap in between, which would be right here, we took 6 inches off. So this gap is going to be another 6 inches off, and then the wing will be another 6 inches off. So I guess for this, so we're going to lose 21 inches of actual structure between this one and that one. We just got to figure out which one we want to lose 20 inches of structure from. Ideally, trying to think, we got to put the transmission up and see how much room, because that's going to be a defining factor, because that's going to go right back in, right in here, which is here. So I can set that up and we can just look at it and see, and then that will decide how much we can actually rob off of here. And there is a lot of questions. Why don't you make it a 12 row? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? You can narrow it up, not even have to cut it, things like that. Going to an 8 row, because cultivating corn, that 8 row cultivator I like, and it lines everything up. 12 row around here doesn't really justify, plus I have row units I guess I could put on, or planter units. But yeah, that doesn't justify, you're overlapping a bunch in smaller fields. So 8 is about as much as I'd want to go in the front fold, because I'm trying to make this as narrow as possible to get down the road. That's why I wanted a front fold deer. My other option was a Kenzie lift and rotate, but money. So well, let's see. Need enough room so we can get in there to work on things. Pretty much going to cut the whole length out of it. So we'll clean it up and weld it back up on there. But that was, I don't know if that was where it used to be, and we're just moving it the full length down. So that's going to be the edge. So what we want to do, we'll clean that, but if we leave this amount of gap still on it, then it will weld that piece back to it. We don't have to modify that end, which would be good. So let me put you guys down. Total width, that's about middle. So that's 5/8, so it would be 11/6 plus whatever the little bit of this is, 11/6 plus another, we'll say 5 inches each way. So that puts us at 12/4. Yeah. Which ain't bad. Let's walk over and measure that other planter. Oh. So this planter is just about 12.4, 12.5. So it's not like we're any wider realistically against this. I'm trying to think if we can make that narrow or not. Hey, can you not go in there? Come on. He's not listening. He's just running geese. He's all revved up. That's actually Malcolm wastewater trial project that's been going on for 10 years now. Got it gouged out. So gouge the welds out. That gouge function is sweet on a plasma cutter. Doesn't allow you to cut all the way through everything. So as you see, we'll just clean up this one. But there's a gap now. Let's see, tapping it and get it out. There we go. Yep. Already came to the realization we're not going to be able to run. Well, maybe we can run them on the inside. Can you run those springs on the inside? Maybe we can do that. But that is in the way because it does have the shut off disengagement, whatever it is. But the problem I got now is when I narrow it up, I want it to go right here, but there's too much of a gap to make 30" from this row to that row by the time the fold comes into it. So I had to suck it all the way to the left, which then puts us cutting here as far left as I can go, which takes out 11.5 inches of that and then leaves me with, because I'm working off between point to point, so that will leave me with 15.5. The distance between these are 17, I believe. Oh, just about 18. So, what did I say, 15.5? And then plus the pivot in between here. So, plus another 4.5, I'd say. Yeah, that doesn't give me enough room, so we might have to do some weird stuff to get that hitch to line up right. That's why the 36 works, because you got such a gap in between. And I've sucked this all the way as far as I can to the left without compromising having to do anything. Yep. So this is gonna be a struggle. This makes me pretty nervous. Chop, chop. I've measured and measured and measured. I hope I'm right. Shorter. Got it cleaned up to the point where I feel pretty good about that. Got to do this back side, cut that down some more because they replated it multiple times there, but we'll probably just cut it flush and then we're going to plate it after we're done. But cleaned out inside that tube. Let's see if that will slide right back in. stuck. Might have to do a little tapping, but sure hope I measured this right. Freaking workout. Another inch. So here's my dilemma. This fits perfectly here. Lines up there. This gets real close to here. Enough that we still got some movement to get in between. But I don't think I can take any more out of that. 18 inches, which is in between, is right here. So, yeah, that inner arm's gonna... This is going to be messed up. This is, yeah. So the only thing I can think of, here's our line where it's going to be. So at least it's on that side. So when you unfold it, pushes out, it'll be sitting right here. It'll be like right in here. This is a hose holder, I believe. So that doesn't really have to be there. But let's lock it back in. So my only thought, get another one of these plates, weld them together. That will push it far enough that it will be right here, I believe. Which the other ones were, well, let's go look at it. The other one's damn close to the front anyways. So I think that's our best option. Extend one of these plates over. I think I can go rob some off the other one. Weld them so they're thick, and that will give us another inch of movement. Which, let's see, I think they're an inch. Ooh, no, two inches. So if we're on the edge with the actual bracket, and then we move over 2 inches, we'll be inside here. So that's going to be what we do. We'll just fab up a different bracket, and that will narrow it in there. So that worked out. So we got to weld that around. We're good on this side. This one I just got to clean up. I got to get some grinding wheels. I ran out, and I got to get some lunch. I haven't ate anything, but that transmission fits perfectly there, which is wild. I didn't expect it to be that good. We went over, got some lunch, got some supplies, some primer because I'm tired of looking at that rust, some Rust-Oleum for the tanker back, and I get back, we're sitting with Mike, our UPS driver, in the driveway, and a truck pulls up, and the guy says, "Do you want any planter parts, 7000 series planter parts?" Okay, what do you got? So he watches the channel. I'm horrible with remembering names now. Dan Flags, I think it's Dan, maybe I'm wrong. So he lives over by Frank. Brought me some 7000 conservation planter parts that, it's pretty sweet. Like these brackets, we were just talking that I needed those brackets because we're gonna move that over. So now I can cut one of these and go with it. And then I got spare upper arms. They got different springs and whatnot in them, but maybe someday I'll use them. So wild world. I appreciate you guys. So how was your lunch? You had some French fries, you got 2 tennis balls. Well, it is supposed to start raining, so I'm thinking about picking up my mess here, cleaning up a little bit, and sliding this into here so I can keep working. Got it somewhat of the way in here. Enough so that I can weld and work on this one. Then we'll have to pull it out, move some things around. Well, yeah, now it's raining, so all part of it. I was wrong on the name. Frank was like, yeah, I know him. Dick Flags, so from Littleton. So I appreciate you stopping in. It's wild. Yeah, people, y'all are wild. Alrighty, I'll get this cleaned up. Then we can get one side of this welded on. Then we gotta measure the wing and cut that. From there, putting the units back on and moving the wheel really isn't too bad. And then we'll have one side done as far as fabrication other than the drive mechanism underneath. Okay. Welding underneath that was a little interesting. I thought about cutting those off, but they're placed so nice. But we got that welded up. It ain't professional, but it ain't going anywhere. Gotta finish that corner, but did underneath, upside down, high heat. Re-welded that on. Got that all welded back up. Did any nicks on the frame, I did re-weld it in. We'll clean that up. And I welded that one too. Gotta weld that, but I had to move the welder for that. So this side, from here over, other than the transmission, which we probably should weld that up in there. Yeah, probably should do that before we get too carried away. So that shaft's gonna go that way out. This one has a locking coupler that goes from here onto the one that comes around on the wing. Got it somewhat welded in enough that it's not gonna move. That's welded. I just don't want to fully weld it and then have to move it if I mess something up as far as how the wing lines up to it. But I think I'll be good because that bottom bar, so this gear here has to line up with that gear, and that's what actually drives it. That's gonna drive off the wing. So we're gonna have to move that shaft, as I said, but we're gonna be in a pretty good place. Okay, I already saw an issue. The drive mechanism, that bar is gonna sit here, which then means the edge is like here. The drive mechanism is gonna touch it. So we're gonna have to do some thinking. A lot of thinking. I'm not you can't move that back anymore. And I really want to keep this shut-off thing. Hopefully they work. If they don't, then we'll rip it off. But that's a bridge we're gonna have to cross at some point here. But just that's why I step back and look at it. I did get some primer, so sprayed some primer on spots. I'll clean that up and we'll primer all that. I'm sick of it getting rusty. So then once we're done, we'll spray the whole planter with some green. So from one outside to another outside, 30-inch rows, this setup, 45 inches. So we walk back over here. I measured from right here. So it might give us a little bit of extra sticking out, which is fine. Yeah. We'll have to figure out these marker arms after. I'm hoping I take enough out that it's moved in and we don't have to modify them some, but they've been modified a little bit. So if I cut this right here, we'll slide the tube into there. Well, we'll have to pick it up first, move the tire over, that way it all slides. I'll cut it and then we'll do that. Is at least get this wheel loosened up and move everything over. That way that doesn't touch yet, because we're gonna have to modify this, which means this bearing will get moved down here and the end will get moved according to where it lines up. This is the bottom one that actually drives off the wheels. So each wheel unit on this has ground driven. As you see, it comes up here, and then as it starts spinning, they connect and go from there. So we gotta move it over because I don't know the exact length yet. And then we gotta clean this edge up. Should be easy enough, right? This, as long as we don't flip that over, will be okay. Yeah. Alrighty, let's see where we get to here. That's actually moving. Alrighty, we'll probably go past it to begin with. That way we can bring that wheel back when we get to where we need to be. I could see this going badly and that going for my pickup. So we might as well get it started and move it. Just at least pull it forward. Let it warm up. Pull it forward so if it does fall, it lands on the trailer, not going through the side of my pickup. But yeah, here's where we're at. So we gotta slide that into there. And we're not exactly level, as you see, because we got too much weight going that way. I wish I had another person. Well, this is a contraption. I was able to take the weight off by myself, unhook the chain, hook another one on there because, well, I got the chain pinched there and there. So hopefully it will hold it there when I curl it back. I did slide everything over some more, but I don't think enough to I don't know, maybe. Well, we got weight against it now. Very good. Not a chance. When we do that one, we're taking the wheel right off. Yeah, should have done that to begin with. But we're almost there. You can see. I think we're there. Yep. We are there. Woo! That wasn't bad, right? You all knew I was gonna get it. I don't think I was pretty nervous. I didn't think I was gonna actually get that. So the wheel's not at all in the right spot, but we gotta weld that before we do anything, make sure we're level all the way across everything. Well, we gotta have that one and this one level at the point it's at right now. It is in the locked position, so we should be good. Let's get a tape measure and get that welded. Or, wow, not tape measure. Level. Yep. Got two sides welded. This top's gonna be real tight, but once we swing it open, we can actually weld it. We just can't get a little aggressive. We gotta burn right in. But, woo! I'm really shocked that I was able to do that. I did call my brother, but they were at a hardscape landscape conference for the last 2 days. They're pretty wore out, so he was going to bed. Oh yeah. Let's get this done. Well, folds up. Got it all welded. Yeah. Filling the corner is a little awkward, but bottom, back. Woo! That. Okay, that looks good. So we're gonna have to figure out the bracket. It goes right where that U-bolt is. It's in the same exact spot. So we'll have to modify the bracket a little bit to line up to it. I thought about modifying this pin, but we're gonna be so close that I think we want to leave that pin. But that, I think that was the easiest way of doing this. I know there's plenty of comments of why don't you cut this, why don't you do that, people saying why don't you put 10 units on or 12 units on. We took 21 inches out of this middle section, so I'm not sure. I guess you could add another unit at each end, but you got to have this pivot point. And some people said, why are you cutting it where it is? Because the transmission was my big dilemma. If I didn't have a transmission right here, then I could have done a lot of things. And I thought about trying to modify, do something different there, but yeah, this, other than having to figure out how this is going to connect to the next one, I think I'm in an okay place. And then we just got to figure out the marker arms and connect everything up underneath, which normal stuff there. We got to change out all the chains and all the rollers, bearings, but nothing like really major. That's normal maintenance on a corn planter. This fabrication is not normal maintenance. I highly recommend not doing it. But these pivots are meant so when they pivot up, they go up out of the way. So you see there's good clearance. What do we got now for a width? Let me grab a tape measure. We'll go from middle out, because this is the real determining factor of how wide are we. Granted, this is going to be there, so the max width is that. Okay, that's just about middle. 6 foot. Even if we're 6'2", but 12 foot. So we're going to be a tiny little bit narrower than that other robot. Or, wow. I got too many things on my mind right now. Than that other corn planter. But when we're in the field, we're going to be twice as wide, and we're going to have proper row spacing, which is a big plus. Big plus. Yeah. So I guess we got to figure out exactly where this is going to sit. Well, yeah, we should do the first row unit, and then we're going to cut this shaft down. This is going to get moved sideways, and then that's going to get re-drilled, and that will be the connection point. Same with, like I said, we got to modify this to make it happy. Yeah, I was just thinking we can't do anything in here. I may have to end up buying one of these things someday. It is so much handier than like a skid steer or loader, because you can get off, look at something quick, get back on. So we got the 1 row unit sitting here. This is going to be the one that we got to alter. Yeah, but we'll get it up there and see what we got to play with. So the bracket might work. As you see, I'm at the end and I need to get to that line, which we're at that line. I got to make that bracket straight. Currently it's not. But so that shut off solenoid, yeah, I got to take it off. I'm not going to be able to run that on this because it gets too narrow in between. So that was my big concern and fear, lining all that up again. So I can, let me grab one. We'll have to do a little bit of fab work, but if we get that line back up right there, then I'll still have the bearing. I can use those bolt holes on this one, go out, and then put the other pivot or the connector piece in. I figured that was going to fight me some, so. Which that's annoying because I can't use both outside rows then. So then none of them are good. None of them are useful. Huh. Okay. I was kind of hoping to use that feature. Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense having outside rows. Okay. Oh, I'm learning. So maybe those will all come off. And so Jimmy Larkin was like, you could put electric drive on it. Yes, we could. It won't be this year if I ever do that. But that's where we're at. This tire just has to get moved in. Putting this other one on should be pretty straightforward. Yeah, nothing to it at that point. We shouldn't have to fight anything there, but it was a transmission here that makes it challenging, and we got one on the other side too. So as I'm learning, it's all part of it. Doesn't have that much play either, which is wild. But yeah, that's where we're at. So I think that's gonna do it for tonight. I got a bunch of stuff. I gotta haul sawdust in the morning before work, so we gotta go do that. So that means the white truck's gotta come off the trailer in the morning, and we'll run over, get sawdust. It's starting to rain. Yeah, I should probably cover this with something so it doesn't get rained, or slide it back in like I had it. Probably do that. That way it can rain and not get all those spots rusty. So alrighty, I appreciate you guys watching along. This is definitely a project. I don't recommend doing it. 10 out of 10, it's not that much fun. But once I'm done, I'm gonna be able to say, hey, I did that once. And this will definitely be a project that I only do once. There's no doing this in the future again. But got a hell of a deal on it. Well, decent deal. We'll see when we finish up what we're really at, but the flex makes it pretty neat. Those row shutoffs, I was kind of excited for those, but if we can't run them, we can't run them. So I don't know. I guess we will see. But appreciate you guys watching along, liking, subscribing, being part of the channel. I'm hopefully we get this project done, at least the fab work of it by this weekend, or during this weekend, and then I can keep moving. So I got, as you know, we got plenty of projects, but this is quite unique. So alrighty, appreciate it, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good one.